So now moving on to number 3. It is hard to believe that disciplines as complex as space travel and astrophysics have blanked from such a blank and time-honored pursuit as stargazing. So, the trigger in this sentence and the hint are basically the same thing. The big thing that you need to underline here is it is hard to believe. So if it is hard to believe, there's a disconnect there, which means that there's clearly a contrast. So it's hard to believe that complex principles such as space travel and astrophysics have blank from, so have come from. So that's our first blank. So it's hard to believe that these complex things have come from such a blank and time-honored pursuit as stargazing. So stargazing is clearly not complex, and that would be our contrast here. So the second blank, we're looking for something opposite of complex, so basic. So now looking at those second blanks, A says straightforward. That would be the opposite of complex, so that gets a check. Humble, definitely the opposite of complex, so we give that a check as well. Then, looking at letter C, esoteric, which you should remember from our last drill, means known only to few, which is clearly extremely complex. That we get rid of. And then primordial, probably not something you know, so we'll leave that in as a mystery. And simplistic, definitely opposite of complex. So then looking at the first blanks, letter E is aggrandized. Maybe you're not sure of what that is. D is replicated. So if we're looking for coming from, it's not really replicating. We're starting with stargazing and we're going up to astrophysics. So we're not replicating stargazing. So this is going to be out. Then going back to letter B, we know that that is evolved. So that's exactly what we want here. And then letter A is dissociated. So that means not associated with. So if we're coming from one to go to another, they're definitely associated. So that's out. So if you're comparing B and E, we're totally going with the 2 checks because that's a sure bet. Whereas this one, we're only 50% sure.